And Mousesports try to do anything they can to keep this opening series of Katowice alive and well.
Yeah, waiting in that lower bracket match gambit for the loser of this game if Mousesports do fall short here in the second. Well, we're about to find out. Dink onto Frozen with a Glock of device right up the middle. And BMAS's power has been spotted by Glaive. No cover, thanks to Frozen getting tagged early. And that game plan, well, it did not go to plan for Mousesports. Leaving A core at the bottom of B here, very risky considering they rotate fully out and don't try and trade him at the car. Mousesports expecting an A play, but if Astralis do clear A core from this position, B is free. I say that Dexter hangs around. And yeah, this is a nice setup because if A core does just stick in this corner, you know, he can get traded by Dexter, but he's pushed into Device who hasn't moved since the map started, finding his first kill to add to the damage dealt to Frozen. And Astralis just keep holding, because why wouldn't they? They've been fed 2 frags already. Maybe there's more to come.
Oh. Hey, feeling worried now if you're Mouse, right? You wanted to hit the ground running to begin this CT side. Rops deleted over at the long side, and oh, it's a CT wrap. Of course, you would never see this one coming if you're Mouse. Even then, to deal with Frozen, they've dispatched Glaive. He's like, yeah, I'll run him down. Oh, wait, A's clear, guys. A's clear. It's not clear. Frozen's... Oh, there it is. It does get it. Oh, but B's clear, guys. Clear. Device calls it. And now they start to run towards B. There isn't a lot of time on the clock, but yeah, it should be good for the bomb plant. And they're just hunting Frozen down. Watch out for the... Oh, Device! Dupree, well, he's get the trade, but those are some nice shots from Frozen.
Yeah, there was like a second of indecision where they're like, oh, we've killed the only B player, he's A, and then they look at the clock and they go, I have 18 seconds. Like, do I go? And it's like, if you're going to go, just do it. Just commit. Like, you have the time for the rotate there, but you don't want to, you know, doubt yourself and then run B.
It's like I said, man, they're a self-learning AI. That's just them calculating it. Like, they're like it's like whizzing, you know, and they get the pistol, so a good start for Astralis.
Yeah, well, a round to round, right? Even if it is a little bit dangerous. Pistols out for Mouse, forced up. And that was just a very sweaty pistol for Astralis, right? Just hanging about, just waiting for the kills to come to them. And that they did in high supply. Dexter with a flash lined up to B. No one's playing aggro off the back of it, though. Frozen's at the back of the bomb site. Dexter and Frozen, the B hold for this CT side. Let's see how that does. Rops on long. Nice shot. Glaive gone. B pressure put on by Device, who gets that kill. And if Astralis want, they can just turn around, rotate back into this near empty bomb site. It's getting padded by the second, though. Frozen or Dexter waits for Rops on a rotate, and Astralis still look inquisitive towards A after picking up A core on the short side. BMAS has to do everything here, especially considering B has now been denied, and Astralis are committing to the only control they've got. Wow.
Well, they got a good feeling about A. And so they're going to move on in uncontested. I know Rops was here earlier, so they're being very methodical in looking for him, but he went over towards that B site to join up with Dexter. And the two of them now are left in this retake. Now, they don't have a kit, because it is this force buy. They can look to do even more damage to the Astralis money, who have made some decent bank here on the back of these MAC-10s. This Rops Eagle had a good start to the round, but it might not be given many chances at the closer. Astralis onto this second. Just the smokes alone, right? And the sheer numbers are enough for them to really cement it. Mouse are just hoping that someone gets overzealous and goes looking for these two remaining players, and Astralis aren't going to give it to them. So there's that 2-0 lead. The anti-force comes through, and now there is just an eco to follow. Astralis looking to comfortably get up to a 3-0 lead before we have that buy-in for Mousesports. I think something as well important to note is A-Core saving money so we can bring that AWP out right away. I think that's super important on the CT side of this map. You want to have as many of those AWPs out as you can, especially when you think about how reliant Mousesports were on them just the other day. And even on that nuke CT side, right, when the AWPs were flowing, things looked a little better for Mousesports. CT AWPing, definitely the favored side. A lot of AWPers even neglecting to pick the AWP up at all on this T-half.
Oh, dirty dink for Dexter. The back 10 battle won by him, and he's going to get hounded down, but he wins another fight with the flash popping in his face. AK gifted. Can they really win this round? If Astralis just sped fast towards A and try and avoid this AK that's been picked up, maybe they can get rid of the remaining pistols that do sit armorless inside of A. Drops with the scout Kevlar. He's the only man who can really put up a heavy beating on this side of the map. Mousesports are boosting the AK. Fast in through the long molly for Zip. He's going to smoke off Acor, who can just go through it, right? Nothing to lose, everything to gain. If Rob gets a tag, Acor can deliver the pain, and that he does. Bomb dropped, Acor with more damage, and he's upgraded as well, spraying and taking down Zip. This eco is perfection for Mousesports, and Dupree in a 1-on-5 with no bomb and 50 seconds to do it.
Yeah, what on earth is Dupree meant to do here? There's one, but the trade is immediate for Dexter. And man, it's one of these rounds, like there's no accounting for what Dexter gets away with over in the top of Banana. Like that little Mac-10 flick really turns the tide. You're 5-on-3 at that point, and then you have Acor finding some nice shots as well, and suddenly it's a recipe for disaster. That's not a round that Mousesports are ever meant to be winning. So now you have the AWP bought out early on. Dexter was farming money and gets out of it with an AK, so there's a lot of B utility. Like that shot there is just unreal.
Yeah, a nice little double play on long as well, with Robs just getting a tag and Acor just swings the second. Robs makes that call. So yeah, Astralis, they lose the bomb, and as a result, that round's immediately unwinnable.
It's interesting as well, you know, those aren't the rounds that Astralis normally end up coming back to haunt them. And like I say, like there isn't really much you can account for with Dexter landing that little double. And that does put you off to a pretty grisly start. It's nice to see him finding his footing early on as well, because if you remember, on Nuke, he was getting bullied a lot, it felt like. Like, he had a very slow start and then had to build back into that game. Is that going to be a reoccurring theme for Dexter? Is he this guy that, like, first map, everyone thinks they can bully? They're like, yeah, Dexter, ha ha ha, welcome to Europe, guy, you know, like, just wrecking him. And then he just gains strength as the map goes on. I don't know, it's kind of interesting, right? That's what happened to Cole. Those Danes had to learn the hard way.
Well, there's far more on the other side today. Good grenades, though, from Mousesports. Triple B out of the gate, and they tag down 2 players of Astralis. Oh, Acor, if he committed for 1 more second, that was a headshot onto the player coming from under, but Dupree lives to tell the tale. Astralis regroup towards Banana, but still get handed more Molotovs, more HEs, and no control.
I'm convinced there should be a ruling that whenever your brain is telling you to get off of an angle, hold it for 1 extra second, right? Like, because that feels like the CS timing down to a T. But look at this, up through Banana. Dexter with the jump spot. I don't think he saw anyone there. Did the second time around. And with the swing, Dexter brings the fight to Astralis, and he's doubled up, putting the advantage in favor of Mouse in quite a big way again. If Dexter's able to do this up at Banana in every one of these rounds, then that's scary, because this is now the 2nd in a row where he's multi-killed down Banana. And yeah, you know, he gets traded here, but it's still the advantage for Mouse. It's still all this information, all the utilities in now for the Danes. And they're not able to progress into this site because the mollies are down, so it slowed the approach. Mousesports haven't rotated around yet. They're still anxious that this is nothing more than a very elaborate ruse, and that's not the case. Zip is actually throwing the bomb into the view of these players in the site. I don't even think they know about this Dark player yet in the form of Frozen. They've deked out Acor, and they will check for Frozen over in Dark. He's still alive, and now Dupree is stuck. He's trapped. They're in CT. They're in the bomb site, and he's got nowhere to move. 10 seconds. He needs this kill, and in with the swing. Frozen holds the line. Now he's going to tie it up at 2-2, and now it's Astralis having to take an eco.
Yeah, it's a really well played round, right? From the early Banana utility to Dexter capitalizing on it, and then, you know, Mousesports, even though they commit on A with 2, like you say, like still very centered on the site. Acor is here in time, and he's able to put up enough of a distraction for Frozen to double down at the end. And yeah, Mouse, good B hold. Astralis, they're going to want all that util, right, for the full executes, for the mollies at the back of the side that we often see from this T side, but for now they are just heavy buying. Double nade into ult mid, do some more damage. Utility working out for Mousesports for a change. That's a fast escape for Acor. He hits the headshot and gets out alive with another. Now B-Mass's time. Yet a frag, but this could change as Dupree runs out through the choke. And Mousesports one by one are picking up kill after kill. Dexter doesn't want to offer a way into B here. He is the only man tasked with this banana control. So that kill and the smoke fade will work fine. And Magist gets picked up in mid. Flawless round for Mousesports. That was a force for Astralis. They don't do a point of damage. So full eco here, just P250s at most. And waiting for that bonus to build.
Oh man, we're getting a fair few of the reoccurring Aussie boys. You see Mac up there in the top left. I always feel scared whenever that guy's in the fan cast, man. You never know what's coming up next.
Something wild.
Oh, Device has just nailed Dexter with another double. This guy is the king of banana. Well, you know, that title was taken a while ago. But look, man, I'm all down for thrones getting usurped. I'm all down for titles getting taken away. Don't mess with Dexter. Dupree, Eagle. Disaster. Is it last man alive? Dexter ain't giving you any more. Oh, that's not the angle you want to swing into.
I'm liking how confident Mousesports are, right? From the get-go, BMAS was pushed down bench in the pistol, if you remember. Like, they were just trying to take face. And we're not seeing any fear out of Mousesports in this CT side, right? They are facing mid in these anti-ecos. They are peeking banana with no flashes. Like, you could even say, like, maybe a little bit kind of crazy, but it's working out. Right now, at least. Once Astralis get those full gun rounds in, right, it's going to be a little more punishing.
I'm pretty sure Banana is Diggity in Aussie Counter-Strike. So
everything's Diggity.
No, I know. I think Banana actually is Diggity. And so he would be Diggity Dexter with how he's playing this, right? So there we go. It's not King of Banana, because that don't make sense to him. I like it. I like what we're seeing.
Yeah. Maybe we should get someone to confirm that.
I swear that's what it is. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know.
I thought it was a little underpass thing, you know? But what do I know? Never been to Australia. Let me in.
Oh, frozen this time. Over here towards this B-bomb site, dealing with Device. Lots of damage onto Dupree. BMAS wants the kill. He's chasing it down. He's bloodlusted. Regains composure just in time. Rops, meanwhile, look at him go. Throwing himself really into the middle of the pack of Astralis. Oh no, Dupree made noise, and now Rops is interested. There he is. Blood in the water, the Sharks come swinging. It's Rops with that kill, a 5-on-3 rather. And they fall out of there, keeping this man advantage. Good show of restraint from Mouse, you know, not overstepping the boundary. They've got this top banana control, a 3-man stack afforded to them in this A bomb site very, very comfortably.
Ooh. Yeah, they both trade smokes. Glaive's just going to go right through. He's at least on a timing, but Frozen is here off of a rotate off of B. And Mousesports have had no problem in leaving Acor or Dexter alone on this B bomb site and just holding down the line. Acor's got to do so again, and he's going to hit the first shot, back in with another. Acor cleans it up. And yeah, that freeing of B, the one-man hold that we've seen in a lot of these rounds, more often than not Dexter, is allowing Mousesports to run that quad A. It's allowing Frozen to get there and kill the lurk of Glaive, trying to split into B through the CT spawn, denied today. And this is, yeah, it's a really good CT side right now for Mousesports. It's what we saw against Renegades to pull that comeback. I didn't think it would be so easy against Astralis, but let's see how long it holds strong. Always got to remember who you're up against. Right now, not a lot of respect being shown by Mousesports, which is actually a really good sign. Robs again back to his tricks in ult. Frozen didn't realize Glaive got through the corner, and he jump shots him with a MAC-10. 2 openers for Astralis, and boom, a slap of reality served up on the plate for Mousesports.
Yeah, now Dexter's able to confirm that he doesn't hear anything else at the top of Banana. And look at him, look at the balls on this guy. He's just retaking it without a flash, all alone. He's moved in. Now, do they send BMAS back? They're going to need to have him inside of A if they want to repel this A take from all 5 players on Astralis. Dexter's going aggressive down through the Banana. Flashes over, Rops is blinded in the graveyard. We need something big. There's the first, but only good for 1. BMAS gets there just in time to reclaim a 2-on-3. And with the swing, it's BMAS lighting up the server. Just Dupree left alive. will smoke off the Moto to try and keep VMAS away, but Dexter's already here, knocking on the door of Dupree. Bomb trying to go down. They're rushing through the smokes, and there it is, the lock-in. 6 on the board for Mousesports. VMAS with a key hold there. This guy's spray transfers are just otherworldly. Like, his ability to go from one target to the other, absolutely wild. We've seen it time and time again. There was that Nuke one the other day.
Yeah.
I think there was one of those really famous clips from him on Nuke as well, doing something similar. And here, the flick up just taps Device out of the round.
Yeah, pinpoint precision from this guy, right? We talk about the firepower of Mousesports, and right there it is in our face, and more so in the face of Astralis. Doesn't feel so good on the other side, huh? So 6-2, and an AWP out for Device. It's about time, right? Finally, the money is there, and we've got a full buy round. So Mousesports, let's see how Acord does on the other side. Robs with a deep molly, won't do anything else in middle. Glaive is up and past it. He loves beating these timings, right? He got up Banana last round. This time he beats the spawn into middle. And the AWP isn't fully facing, but Device is holding on. If Akor goes in, it's a kill. But Akor still kills Glaive in the meantime. Like, that's impressive that he can get that off before Device fires. Very, very nice stuff, but still a 4-on-4, which will favor Astralis in a round like this. Did Device get tagged through Glaive? I think he may have, by that AWP shot. Either way. Bomb's still back in spawn. Something that is often forgotten even by teams like Astralis. Like, very rarely, of course, but we've seen it happen in the past. So someone's got to be dedicated to go and get that. Glaive is surely going to make the call from beyond the grave. Beyond the Glaive, there we go. We've got his first book title. Following in Zonic's footsteps, maybe. A post-Astralis era, but right now we're in the midst of it. 4-on-4 and contacting up on long. Mousesports again, solo B, leaving Dexter in this position, and he's on a nice off angle, but he's got to commit to the spray. Dupree re-peeks back in with a jiggle wiggle, and Astralis now running around the Moto.
Yeah, still too strong. It's Rops and BMAS. There's the first for Rops, but immediately traded, and BMAS very, very low. Still finding kills, trying to set Frozen up for the clutch. A 1v2 versus Dupree and Magisk. Easier said than done. That Molotov missed the mark, bomb down, not really planted for anything, but it's this double setup in the site that's going to prove very, very rough for Frozen to navigate. 2 players, similar angles, different elevation. Bit of a reposition from Dupree. Leaves him out of line with Magisk, but there's the swing, and Dupree's hungry for the kills. Astralis get onto a third. They save the AWP as well, so that's going to find its way back into the hands of Device.
Yeah, it may have been a nice start for Mousesports, but reality will come crashing down soon enough with Astralis building into this T side, and they've got plenty of money as well. Even post-buy. Dupree so quick. Peace before the flash even pops as well. And what have we got here? Akor back to his AWP in the apartments, tries to cross. They molly the hallway, or the window rather, so he just runs back and escapes. Got a peek from the short side. You can see how Astralis is just set up in middle, waiting for these peaks, right? Mousesports have gone for a lot of mid fights in this game already, and so Dupree is holding for it. The AWP in Banana for Device. Dexter has got to choose one way or another with that Molotov pushing him back. Akor knows the timings. He knows it could now be up ult, and so he gives up the middle choke point. Smoke instead. Very reserved for Astralis, right? Waiting out as much utility as they can before they make their mind up. Their mind will be made, and it's towards B this plan gets set.
Yeah, just a standard B execute. Frozen to Dexter. How are they going to respond to this? Device has already run through. Braving these smokes. He's deep within enemy lines. Dexter on for one and almost the double, but denied by Dupree. The 4-on-4 retake from Mouse at this B bomb site. And with utility still to spare for Astralis, that smoke goes down in CT just to keep the angle cut off that much longer. This is a bit of a rough one for Mouse. Now they do have all these Molotovs, all these nades, and a smoke as well. That smoke can either be used on the bomb or to block off Banana, knowing that that's where the bomb is planted for. So that can come in handy later in the round. It's a flurry of utility and trades going back and forth, but ultimately, Mouse looking good in this one. They tap the bomb, they bait these shots through the Banana, and Frozen sticking it, getting off the bomb, trying to hold the line, in with the first. The spray transfers almost through, but there's no time left. It comes down to the wire. Zip and Frozen, just Zip actually, left standing at the last hurdle, and it's Astralis up onto 4.
That was very close, wasn't it? Right, coming down to smoke spam, and Frozen knows that when his teammate dies trying to provide cover from CT, that he loses his opportunity to stick. At least one player from Astralis is coming running through that smoke, and they will not miss that shot. So he had to get off. He almost hit the transfer through the smoke, but with that missing, it's going to have to be a save. And even then, he doesn't get away, dead to the bomb. Nice try. It really would have been nice to see Dexter, who runs through the coffin smoke rather, and gets a pick. He is then not traded. He's left with about a second of decision making, where he either has to back up through the smoke or commit and try and find a second. He commits, but if he did give it up, considering his teammate was fully out of the round, smoked off in CT, and he backs up there and plays the 5-on-4, I feel like that's a very winnable round for Mousesports. Obviously, just hoping to get a double kill there, and it's Astralis that are able to trade him after he runs through towards the fountain. But there definitely were opportunities there for Mousesports to win that round. Coming close, but Astralis on top, still down by 2, but building into this T side. Where's Acor going? Back to B. Right call to make. It's all Astralis have really been doing on this T side. Triple B early for the nades. The top sandbag smoke will deny Mousesports any opportunity to play the car. Nichols hanging around on top of the sandbags. Very risky position, but hopefully can just take a shot and bail. Astralis, are they going to pop through this smoke? A re-smoke comes through, and so do they.
Oh, they try to run in. Glaive pops off alongside Dupree to open up into top mid, and suddenly Dexter, once again, the focal point in this A-hold. They start to move in. Dexter, is he ready for the apartment swing? Doesn't need to be. It's Magis to beat them to the punch. And that's probably the save solidified here for Mousesports. 5 on the board for Astralis. So, it was a bit back and forth in the beginning in terms of that pistol round, the force by war, But now Astralis finding their footing and starting to look more scary as each round goes by.
Harry, I've been confirmed from a member of the Australian nation that Diggity is short A outside boiler, the porch area, I presume.
I've heard so many different things.
I think it's a bit of a meme call to a degree, but that's from Mac. So thank you, Mac, for confirming. And well, Harry, don't lie again.
Oh, look
the
at
Renegades in the fan cams, alive and well, supporting Dexter, I assume.
Well, you got to love him, right? You got to give support to the boys. That's what it's all about, man. It's nice to see the solidarity there. Renegades tuning in.
Well, this is getting a little bit scary, though, for Mousesports, right? Astralis have certainly built into this T side. Fast down Banana for Frozen. Oh, he's trapped in the molly. He had to go, and so will Glaive. Back to the lobby with both of you. Oh my, it's a murder up this top B area. The mollies come down yet again for Astralis, and Acor finally concedes, but he takes a shot on his departure through the wall. Device. Don't want to re-peek into that if you're Acor. Playing with fire. You're going to get burned. Device goes back to secure the bomb, but in a 4-on-4, they know somewhere it's going to be weak. Where is it? If Astralis have read this well, it will be the solo B hold that Mousesports have often relied on Dexter. The man with the utility, at least, to try and hold down this bomb site. Hopefully he can get a smoke in time to call for a rotate. Astralis are grouping with 4. Minute on the clock. 1 Molotov, 3 smokes, 2 flashes, just enough to get this B play going. But Dexter stalls it out for now. However, we've already seen Astralis and a tendency to explode through the smokes. They throw in one coffin smoke. They still have 2 more, though, so they can run a full execute after Dex's expires. And that check, that timing is so unfortunate. Rops has moved down mid. Astralis don't catch him. They still have their eyes on it, so if Rops goes early here, he should be dead to Dupree. Oh, there it is. And now you can bail from the B play. Now you know there are 2 players there if you're Astralis, so right back to A they go.
Oh no, this is turned very, very rough, very, very quickly. BMAS needs to deliver. The Molotov might slow them down, but Zip goes running through it. They smoke the molly. They are charging BMAS down. The cavalry's running in, but with limited time on the clock, and BMAS just trying to buy time.
Nice.
There it is. They say it's priceless, and yet here he is offering it up in high supply. There's no time for Zip. No matter how good you are at clutches, you can't beat the clock. Mousesports, they lock in that round. And Dexter wins it just by sitting back over a banana.
Lovely stuff. Yeah, I mean, that rotate for Astralis, it's sadly, it's the right call, right? Like when they kill Rops on the flank, they know that going into B is the harder of 2 sides. They speed through the Molotov, they smoke it. But yeah, you know, getting killed by BMAS, the one man who dies is the bomb, the second dude in. Astralis even tried to send someone before the bomb, and BMAS just lets him pass and just kills the guy who's going to go plant. So that's a really, really well played round for BMAS. Good patience. He had to live there after getting the first in middle. Glaive spraying the smoke, kills Acor, pushing down. Mousesports again trying their hand at aggression, but Astralis have definitely been cottoning onto that in the recent rounds.
Oh, it's a little awkward. BMAS can't smoke this. Robs was the only man with utility. You know, usually if Robs is spotted like that, you can at least have BMAS drop the smoke. That doesn't happen. The numbers have dwindled elsewhere. That's because, you know, you get a lot of freedom on the back of pinning Robs in like that. Allows the peek onto Boiler side. BMAS gets dropped out of the round. The B player falls as well. And then, you know, you compound that into the fact that you lose Acor early on, and it shaped up to be a pretty grim round for Mousesports. Robs might not even get away with this AK. If he goes into the apartments, he's going to find himself in Dupree's living room.
Yeah, getting all these kills here would be awful for Mousesports. No money in the bank. Only these 2 guns to rely on in the follow-up rounds. Dupree, he is moments away from tearing this economy apart. Robs, if he gets aggressive, he's a dead man walking. Oh, Dupree. It's on a knife's edge here. Does he go for it right at the end of the round? Does he take one quick peek into Boiler? He's been waiting here all round long. It'd almost feel wasteful to not, but nothing getting given over, and Robs will live to tell the tale. Astralis still up to 6, still building a great T side. 2 guns kept alive for Mousesports, but there's no way you can buy around this. You are playing for the last round of the half. And we have seen Device move away from this AWP right back to the rifle. Probably just the safe call to make, especially on the T side of this map. Not really been offered up too much in terms of getting picks for the AWP. And the banana util has been very good for Mousesports, so that's kept Astralis out of it. But they smoke a molly and move up once again.
Oh, Robs with the spam, and Dexter winning one on the other side of the map. Is this another one of these rounds that has no business going the way of Mouse, getting teed up to go their way? They want to retrieve that weapon, but they know it's risky. And right now, they've just got the numbers in their favor. You know, you're looking at this for Astralis. Numbers alone is scary, so you don't want to throw anything away. They set up over here, looking like they want to boost to hold on to this banana side. Magisk is low, so they're going to send in Device at the front end of this one. Smoking CT, the boost needs to deliver. They spot the first, and I think Device even saw the player boosted, so they know this setup. Dexter decides to drop out. That's because of the Molotov. And Frozen's doing a very good job of just being a nuisance, just buying time, but it doesn't matter. Device doubling up. That's exactly what he needed to do if Mousesports did want to convert this and did want to turn it back in their favor. Now they have this plant and a 3-on-3 to work with. Robs does have a defuse kit and an AK on Acor.
Yeah, this is such a difficult round, though. Robs can't afford to go in first either. Acor getting sprayed and damage done, but not enough. Device still standing, and Zip peeks in, giving Robs a chance. He can flash high for BMAS to come out on the coffin and try and play the trade game onto him. Still a player holding Banana. Device is repositioned. Robs is keeping his eyes on it, but they don't actually know. And with the time ticking so quickly, this seems like a done round. Robs being killed confirms that at least, and BMAS is in for damage, and he won't even get it. Still a 7th round for Astralis, and the last round of the half, an ace for Device to deal with that eco round. Only 2 guns for Mousesports, but they certainly make it interesting at the very least.
Yeah, it's a shame though, right? There's no points for interesting at this point in time. You know, you were hoping you could have found something there. You needed someone to step up for Astralis. Like, you know, you might have been up against 3 pistols, as you're saying, with only the 2 rifles in play. But already those 2 rifles had a great deal of impact in that round. And you were starting to get a little bit worried. So they just pick up the pace. They rush down that B site. And, well, Device does the rest. Can he get away with more? They're boosting Dexter into the maws of the beast at Banana.
Oh, no.
And through the smoke, but Frozen, angered by that tickling that Device gives him.
Oh, very close. Robs covers his teammate, though. Astralis looking for 8 at the half. Is going to have to be a 2-on-4 into the B-bomb site, but there's only 1 man here right now. That nade almost finishes Frozen's life in this round, but he backs up in time. Glaver's crept into the pool, swimming with the sharks and the mice. But these CTs are not giving anything away. They know the advantage they have, and they don't want to die in holding the bomb site. That's what lost them that 5-on-3 in the previous round, albeit different circumstances. This time they're going to allow Astralis to plant and play retake as a full unit. Robs with the kit, a long way away, but they're crunching middle, so they're going to have this info ahead of time. They know at this point it's a B play. It's just about how many players are here, and now with 2 nades going down at the same time, that's all the confirmation Mousesports need. Bomb planted and retaking a 4-on-2.
Oh, Glaive tries to get in their face, and so it's left to Magic, because that a pretty quiet game. Now he's got a chance to show his mettle over here at the back of the site. The molly rains in. That's going to nullify one of these angles, and at this point it should be pretty obvious where Magisk is hiding out. And with the swing, whittled down, they're getting ever closer, and there it is. They deal with him. They grab that defuse, and Mousesports narrowly winning out this first half at 8-7. More competitive than what we saw from them on Nuke in a landslide, right? Now looking to try and pull this back in the second half of play, looking to take us the distance. Can Mousesports do it? Or is this Astralis 2-0ing their opening series at Katowice?
Solo B plays. We saw a lot of B executes for Astralis. Some very punishing Molotovs, as we often see. And yeah, they recovered pretty well as far as the money would let them. So back to the T side for Mousesports, where they have certainly had troubles, even on this map as well. So, ooh, good start. Bit of a dink for Acor. But as slow and painful as the T-pistol was for Astralis, where they just waited in ramp until kills were fed to them, Mousesports play it similarly, holding on to every part of the map. Loads of util. Enough for one of these BXX. That certainly looks to be the game plan. Zip missed the timing. A player's crept out to his close right. He might be a dead man walking, and he doesn't even know it. Throwing nades, and he finds a frag on the fadeaway with the grenade as well. Zip getting far more than you should ever be allowed in that position. 5-on-2. Somehow, some way, Astralis have just slaughtered Mousesports.
The fact that the nade kills someone there is just wild, right? That's 2 kills in a split second. Now, the bomb's not planted. Are they going back to A? That is wild if that's the game plan. Now, Magisk is waiting, though, and he locks it in. Yeah, man, you try and do something cheeky versus Astralis, it's never going to pan out the way you're hoping.
NT, though, that's a good call.
Yeah, you know, I think the banana flag was so fast, though, that even if they kill Magisk, they're still dead to the 3 players up through banana. So tying this game up now, Astralis winning the pistol. Look at that, right? The kill on the Robs, the nade on a Acor. It's like Zip is in 2 places at once. How are you meant to fight against that?
Yeah, and the fact that he doesn't die throwing a nade when a player got up banana, Zip is like jiggling on the spot, and he misses that timing. A player gets right past him. Like, he should just be immediately killed. Even if he gets the nade kill, he shouldn't find the USP kill as well. So, yeah, very impressive stuff from Zip. Great to have him here. Giving up B for Astralis. They throw their bottom smoke and they retreat through the top. Just Eagles. Smoke the Device often throws just to get a banana in the start of the round to deny those Molotovs, just throwing it up at the car. But Glaive is not scared, he's not fearful of what lies in wait, and he just sprays two through the smoke. Glaive really been making the UMP look slick as of late. We saw it a lot back at the Global Challenge. Oh, this is as clean as can be for Astralis, and they already know they've got Mousesports trapped.
Oh my goodness, they just reflash back in. Glaive farms a bunch of money on the back of that round there, enough to maybe even drop an AWP into play. Not probably going to happen this round. You're only up against these pistols. Akor's also saving for an AWP of his own, so we are going to get to see that T-side AWP bought up in the coming round. I'm curious to see what he's able to get away with it, because we know that even some of the best AWPers in the world don't elect to pick the gun up T-side Inferno, and whenever they do, it can be very, very hard to find that impact with it. Yeah,
Device, he played it a couple of rounds, and then he just put it away and went back to the AK for the rest of the half to far better success. He found that ace on the B-bomb site. So, yeah, you know, definitely want to try it out of the gate, but whether you'll remain with it the entire T-side, we'll have to see. He's got a Zeus, and he's got a kill with it. Akor, how's he done that? He was hidden at top B behind the wall, and he kills Glaive with the Zeus, getting himself an M4. Wow, $200 investment, big results, but it might not matter with his flank in hot pursuit. Device doming two from behind, and with the bomb lost, Akor, he's making this one interesting. What is going on? He almost aces the round with a $200 investment. Rops with a deagle. Magist looking the right way, but he turns, and it's an eco win for Mousesports. Oh my goodness. That should never happen. Off the back of a Zeus. 4 kills for Akor, and Rops with a close. Magist turns on a dime, and that will be a costly round for Astralis.
It's electrified, man. That's juicy indeed.
The fact that Akor gets 4 with no armor while he's getting shot as well, like amazing spray.
I know you're a big Zeus fan, Hugo. Has that made you happy?
Yeah, I love a Zeus. It's such a good way. Like, you know, that's not really what you could expect to happen.
That's not every round, but it's some rounds.
It's such a good way to get a gun. You know, if you, like, it's PT50, you know, more expensive, and yeah, sure, more damaging and, like, far more versatile, but if you just play a close corner like he did there, it's one shot most of the time. You know, obviously, sometimes you do 96 in one and you're tilted, but yeah, right there is evidence as to why you buy the Zeus. And now Akor's got an AWP, so let's get it.
Yeah, Device has one too, and these AWPs might clash. Over at the B side of the map, they flash zip in with the Mag 7. It's a shame though, the Mag 7 is just bad. Oh, Dexter's gone, a Device AWP ringing out, and Akor not wanting to rise to the challenge just yet, smoked off as well. Throws the CT smoke and retrieves one from the dead body of Dexter. Now they fall away from B, but this is information that Astralis have. They hear the footsteps going back. Rops gets out through the apartment, but is blindsided on the trade by Magisk. Device is already here. How has this happened? He's so damn quick, so decisive in this decision to rotate. They surely won't be ready for the AWP engrave, but they are. Akor beats him in the head-to-head. Now left up in the 1v2, and it's back towards that B-bomb site again. This time, actually going for the long wrap, little hop to get himself there, dodges the timings in through CT. They're rotating through Banana, expecting they can catch up to the guy. Right now, the whole map is a bit of a mystery. Magisk is staying back in the A site. Akor's got around the world and then back again into B.
Oh my.
Glaive digs him out, but the bomb plant comes in at least. Very, very fast on the rotation, though.
Yeah.
And gets there just in time to get that freebie onto Akor.
Damn, dude. If only he planted blue, he could have gone behind the box and been covered from every single position, right? Obviously, he's thinking about the post plan as well, but there was no way he was going to be able to escape to Banana. CT was deep smoked, and so even an open plant, like there was a lot of ways to play that, but yeah, just whatever Akor had in mind, Glaive didn't give a damn, running through that Molotov. And great round from him with the deagle. He was the one man not really armed for that round, right? Device's AWP was there, and Glaive, he gets 2 with a pistol. So Mousesports win a stinger of a round with a Zeus, and Astralis fight right back with a force of their own. AWP on Device, Hero AK on Rops. And by and large, the eco for Mousesports. Acor, now he's got 4,300 and he didn't buy a Zeus. Honestly, I'm not happy with that. You know? It worked wonders. But he's glocking it up and just saving as much cash as he can, knowing the loss isn't really there either. And of course, the one downside of the Zeus, right, is you're not getting any money for the kill. You get $0 reward. So it is just about, you know, getting damage, getting a gun. And also, I got to say, you move really slow with it. That was nerfed a few years back, but you can really feel it when you're holding it out. Like, you can no longer just run and Zeus people, like sprint round corners, Ferrari peeking. But, hey, we've already seen the effect it can have. He's been given a Deeg, Dex has been boosted, and they're looking for this B pick, but Astralis have nice and passive.
Glaive still has this this smoke as well. He's got it out in his hands right now. It's going to get actually not thrown in. He's holding on to it. And Alex instead to just take these fights with the flash from Zip. Nobody's blind. They hide in the pool. This gives them a decent bit of room to work with. That smoke now goes down to try and give him more angles to play with. Dexter bests him in the head-to-head, and now the sheer numbers alone, right? Like, you look at the weaponry, like, yeah, they've retrieved the M4 and they got the MP9, but these players, you know, well, two of them are armorless. They didn't really have much going into that round, but the sheer fact that this is a 3-on-4, Astralis are all out of money, and the rotations were still a little ways away, they're not even going to attempt this round. So Mousesports have locked it in. Dexter giving the entries that were needed to secure that B bomb site. And outsmarting Glaive and Zip, who tried to play that in tandem, tried to play off of one another. They're even chasing down these saving players, mate. You're not getting away with these guns, Astralis. A tag onto Magis. Dupree's like, don't worry, I'll clean it up. And he will bail his teammate out.
How are they winning these ecos, man? It's crazy. Just stop buying guns at this point. Great round for Mousesports. And this B site, as much as it gifted to Astralis in the first half on their T side, or Mousesports are getting as much out of it as well. Dexter with a hero rifle picked up and doing everything he can and more. Making quite the name for himself over here in Mousesports. AWP out for Acor once more. Device on a FAMAS, so for hardly as pretty, and still 2 pistols for Astralis. We're still almost in this stage of like 4 spy wars where no one's really leveled out their economy and won, you know, back-to-back rounds. They're just trading. And that's to the betterment of the T side always. So Mousesports more than happy to swap rounds here. Or bang potentially. Oh, Match is getting flashed in. Oh, it's a messy one. Now he's trapped by the Molotov. Nay going a bit deeper, and it's done some damage to Acor. Even the Deagle almost finishes the job. But Astralis, they've done enough damage, and now they've shown enough players, so they're going to rotate 2 out and leave Zip alone with a smoke and a P250.
Oh, yeah, Frozen bought down low on that peak. But he's just here selling this fake, and he's kept a 4-man stack over at this A bomb site. Also, Rops is up in the apartments, lurking there as well. You still want to get some kind of return out of this if you're Mouse. You know, you've got a lot of low HP players here, and there might only be 1 man inside of this B site. But even if Zip, you know, gets a kill, that might tempt you in for the retake. There's Frozen dying. Now if Zip can get 1 even inside of B, suddenly Astralis are very interested in going for this. Zip trying to bide his time in the smoke, trying to pick the right moment to go through, and there's the kill onto the bomb plant. Acor trades it, but there's very little time. This bomb's got to go down now, and a 3v2 retake. Astralis already poised for it, thanks to Glaive's push down through middle. They're already here. Owls posting up. Acor with a double in the round, holding CT, just waiting for a peek that hasn't arrived yet. Glaive's going to go ahead and smoke the coffins, trying to cut off a player, and that will isolate BMAS out of this round, leaving Acor as the 1 man in this site, deleted by Dupree, and BMAS through the smoke is gone as well. Mousesports, it all falls apart. The retake comes through for Astralis, And yeah, it's that decision. 2 players lurking over towards A. The fact that Frozen's tagged down so low, when he dies, you know, you start to feel that momentum shift, because then Rops doesn't fare too well either. And at that point, that push from Zip couldn't have been timed better. Everything about that was just signature from Astralis.
Yeah, the plan was delayed too long because they had to clear everything, but you know, it was just that CT player. And as you say, the double lurk is definitely a problem. It would have been fine if Rops gets away with something there. What he does do is stall out 3 players on A for so long in showing presence in Boiler and Apps and just being a nuisance, but he doesn't get a single kill. And so that retake is just methodical and meticulous for Astralis with a 3-on-2 in their favor. You know, cutting off BMAS, forcing the 1v1 for Acor, and then just closing the round. So yeah, if Robs gets a kill there and stays alive, like that's maybe Mousesports' round, but you know, without it, the bomb denied, the no cover, it's just everything that could have gone wrong went wrong for Mousesports, and Astralis capitalized very well. So here we go, another eco. Mousesports have won 2 of these on the T side so far, so you definitely want to keep your eyes on this round, but if things are going to stabilize, this is where they should stabilize for Astralis.
The Predo open. Now open is found this time around for Mouse. And Device here holding this angle into mid with the AWP. Oh. Peaked by Frozen. Not quite the follow-up. Magisk over here on the balcony. A little bit of damage on a Frozen, but he still manages to get out of there with the AWP. Now, can he find any results with this? Quite money in his hands. They spot Zip over at long. They want to try and deal with this one player, but the AWP shot misses. And Dupree was given time to rotate up for the trade, so Astralis up onto 12. That was just Eagles, though. We got this investment coming back in. Astralis now starting to edge ahead, right? You think back to Nuke, and their dominant first half. It was 13-2 in favor of Astralis. It gets a little bit competitive, but all in all, it ends 8-16. So kind of inconsequential rounds going on the board. Now it's a lot closer, and Mousesports and Astralis have been playing this almost tug of war to try and get ahead of one another. We're at this point now where Astralis are just edging further and further away from Mouse. And Mousesports need a momentum break. They need something to shift this back in their favor. And really, this needs to kind of be this round right now.
Yeah, the AWP was even yoinked to the end. I have no idea how Zip kills 2 of the 3 players on the long side. This time he gets tagged, though, through the smoke. Acor v Device. Not really seen the head-to-head, even though both AWPs have been in play in many, many rounds. Acor looking at B, and the molly just keeps him out. Just cycling utility for Astralis, going about their business. And another one. Acor has to commit. His team can't join him, though. And they trade positions. Nice. Okay, Astralis have used 2 mollies towards B, and now they put an AWP here. Oh, Acor, I thought you saw the barrel. Doesn't matter. He hits the shot. Device running in, and with the molly call from Glaver, he must have said, like, yeah, banana's clear. You're going to beat the molly there. But Acor was actually just edged through it further than Device was ready for. So, after all, the B hold has been pulled back for Astralis. Both players that once left have returned, and that has weakened the A site for Mousesports' approach.
Yeah, this double pit setup can be tricky to deal with, but Maj is blindsided by Robs. Oh, still gets one more blind, and now they don't account for Dupree. Down in the pit, he's on for a double, but denied by Frozen. And Dexter putting up numbers as well. Gonna go with the distance here as Mousesports put 11 on the board. We said they needed to break that momentum, right? They needed this kind of point break to put up at 11th, to re-energize themselves, to keep the money in good standing, and most importantly, keep this kind of very strained economy in play on the Astralis side. You know, the worry was that they start to run away with it on the back of building up some money, building up momentum behind it while breaking Mouse. They've kept it, though, neck and neck. The tug of war continues, and just when you think Mousesports could be down and out for the count, they fight their way back in.
All right. Broken by for Astralis, but they are looking at it in any way. Dupree with a rifle alongside this orb. SMG's getting dropped over as well. Astralis are fully committing to this one, and it's a dangerous decision, but they know they can break Mousesports' money with just a single punch.
Something that is really cool here is like two of the players that were just getting flat out abused back on Nuke are like the biggest heroes in this map. You know, Dexter had a really, really rough start. I think you said it was like 0-10 or something along those lines, right? Man, like, you know, he's provided so many openers on that CT half, and T side he's been doing the same. It was him getting the entries into B. And then Acor, who was getting beaten at every single turn by seemingly anyone on Astralis. Well, he's top of the board for Mouse now. It's another one of these redemption arcs for these Mousesports players. Acor with the peek and a B, trying to get the opener with this AWP, and if Glaive does peek this angle, that would be a death sentence. Ooh, Acor looks away, but there's Dexter once again, providing that space for his team to succeed. And now in the 5-on-4, pressure's off for Mousesports for the time being. They can slow it right down, knowing it's Astralis who are going to have to adjust to them.
Yeah, they could have just straight up committed and could have won the round off the back of it, but Zip drops a smoke and they didn't have the bomb anyway, so that's now been secured. Dexter is hanging around a B. That molly is going to force his hand. He's got to move somewhere, and Mousesports have set up towards middle into this triple A hold. Scary stuff considering Dexter cannot actually fake this bomb site. He has one flashbang. Rops, I don't know if that was tech issues or what. He was looking at his monitor and he didn't react to the peak at all. Maybe caught looking at the map. Who knows? But it's a massive kill for Magis to keep Astralis in this round, who actually have over-rotated, who've moved everyone towards B with things going quiet, and Dexter getting ticked by the molly, which was heard by Zip. Now they stand in a 2-2 setup. Frozen's walked through the long smoke, trying to battle with Dupree, but he's giving it up already. With 10 seconds, a plant is allowed, and there's nothing Astralis can say or do about it. Mousesports win the round right then and there. And that's actually Astralis' own doing, right? They're the ones who crack. They're the ones who over-rotate. When they had the perfect three-man setup on A, Zip calls for support, and that's a big mistake for Astralis. They weren't to know. That's the gambles you have to make sometimes with the CT of Inferno. So little information. And for all they knew, Mousesports could have been lining up 2 smokes and 2 mollies at the top of B with 5 players.
Yeah, especially when you factor in, right, that they lose that early man over at the B side of the map. Suddenly you're forced to play a lot more restricted, right? You have to be playing back in the bomb sites. Going for those info plays is a lot harder to make. And as you say, I think that little tick on the Molotov over at Banana really did kind of, you know, start to seal the deal in their minds. They're like, well, he moved right out of it. You know, they're trying to maintain that element of surprise. And that wasn't the case at all. And so now we're tied up again at 12-12. Mouse, they just can't seem to win their map picks, but I tell you what, when they get onto their opponents, whole different team.
It's not won yet, though, right? Luckily, the money for Astralis has been such a problem in the CT side. They've not really been able to field proper buy rounds in so many situations. Like, this is another example where they are just relying on the saved guns and 2 pistols around it. No util. Device with a 1 smoke and 1 kit on Zip, and that is all they have. Device wide angle. Molly comes down. Flick is good, though. B-Mass out of the round. That's a start for Astralis. What can they do with it, though? I mean, we had a similar round in the first half where Mousesports were 5-on-3 up after 2 early picks on the CT side. They had 2 guns and 3 pistols, and Device aced them running into B. So, oh no, we have got the same situation now, except with more firepower and more pushing. Dupree is not waiting for them to come to him, and he has taken Dexter out of the middle choke. 2-on-5. Surely no one going to be coming in and acing this one for Mousesports to pull the rabbit out of the hat. Frozen caught in mid, Rops in apps. This won't be a surprise to Astralis either, and they've got the bomb down. They already know. He was spotted from pit, and that might be the round. Astralis, flawless with no money, only saved guns, and that is why you go and save, ladies and gents. Works wonders. 13-12, and that's the one round Astralis have been gunning for. It's going to break Mousesports' money. They only have 1 buy round left, and they're going to be put to eco. If they're put to eco against 14, that's as safe as GG gets. So all of this pendulum swinging back and forth finally might fall in the favor of Astralis after all.
Double AWP as well, spread between Glaive and Device. No AWP in sight for Mouse. Pack 10 on Dexter at least makes him fast, right? You can throw him into the fray. First man in is going to be Dexter on that Mac. Doesn't draw the shots out from Dupree. Device, quick flick onto Robs. And now Dupree trying to hold down the long side. Dexter a little too early on that peak. And Dupree's gunning for these kills through the smoke and still holding on to the long side. The lineup's in, but BMAS at least able to get the trade. There's no one on that B bomb site right now for Astralis. They are fully committed to the idea that this is the A play. And for Mouse, this is really the only option they've got. They don't know whether or not Astralis have this banana control. Glaive's still a mystery. They will go back towards this B site, starting to get a little paranoid at how silence has fallen over here in top mid. Device, the doctor is in, scalpel at the ready.
Ooh.
Looking to make a pretty precise incision into this offensive of Mousesports. Here he is. There's the first. Ducking into the smoke, trying to keep himself hidden. Ooh, the spam doing a lot of damage, but not dealing the killing blow. Leaves Frozen in a very rough spot indeed. Has to get the reload off as well. Time is running out for Frozen. And there's Glaive putting 14 on the board for the Danes. Now, as you mentioned, Hugo, this is where that money, that pendulum that has been the economy in this game comes swinging in harsh against the Mousesports side.
It really felt like Mousesports were winning the money game, but that crucial, you know, essentially 3v5 where the guns do everything for Astralis. After that saved round on B, I mean, that has single-handedly won them this CT side money and put Mousesports in the dirt. They have 2K a player against 14 rounds. This is where, you know, if I'm making the call, I call the eco, right? Like, that's probably the safest decision. You don't want to go back-to-back forces when you're so close to making an OT game happen. But it's not a nice call to have to make playing for overtime against Astralis, right? You're now saying to yourselves, we need to win 3 rounds in a row or this series is done. And it's been so hard, really, for either team, but especially Mouse, in getting consistent back-to-back rounds. So many resets. Double AWP is still here for Astralis. No nades for Mouse either. Glaive is now inquisitive, and he's taken a kill early. Dexter, who's been dishing out opening frags, is now on the receiving end of one. And Mousesports, I mean, there's almost no way you can even make this round look interesting.
Oh yeah, Device don't fall for the jiggle. Oh, another star peeking into him. Acorp spotted in Boiler and Frozen dead in the apartments. They know where the last man is and they gun him down. Astralis onto 15 map and series point, looking to take a 2-0 victory in their opening game of Katowice, now just 5 kills away from exactly that.
Yeah, and it's reassuring for Astralis, right? I'm glad we've gotten a lot more out of Mousesports in this series than especially how it started, right? Going 13-2 down on the T side of their map pick, getting absolutely reamed out and, you know, recovering, showing us some nice CT rounds, but by and large, when you're up against such a top-heavy half, there's almost no breathing room and they got suffocated. But here on Inferno, it's been a very, very competitive game. This could have gone either way. It's not over yet, of course, right? Mousesports have 3 rounds to find in a row to make OT happen. But Astralis have really started to come into their own here near the latter end of the half. You can see first 3 rounds in a row we've seen all half long. The amount of back and forth has been incredible. But Astralis finally edging out, looking to take this 2-0, looking to take this victory, and looking to go forward inside of the bracket.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Mouse, you put everything on the idea of getting this to overtime. You know, you full eco up against 14. You know the odds are you're not winning that. So this buy round has to give the results you were hoping for. You put everything into this idea that OT is achievable. But is it? Are Astralis going to let you get there? Can you create these opportunities for yourself if you're Mouse?
Dirty B setup.
Yeah, triple setup here, right? Never going to be easy. Zip holding onto this flash to flash his teammates back in for the peak, and there it is. It rings over high. BMAS, good for the trade at least, an important one to get. They lose Acor right away. Glaive, he's seen the head, and BMAS is now in the dirt as well. And down for Mouse. And this must be a gut-wrenching feeling. So close to that overtime, but maybe denied the opportunity to get there. They're setting up outside of B. They throw that CT smoke in, and they might just follow through into this B bomb site after all. But to do that, you got to get past these two Titans, Glaive and Zip. They both get down in the pit, and Dexter's dropped through the smoke as the IGLs go blow for blow. Zip playing up close, really serving to complicate matters as this smoke fades. It's Glaive in with another. He can't even see them, and yet he's doing all the damage. Glaive, not the one to sweat bullets, but here he is making it look good. Frozen, last man standing in a sea of Astralis. No real time to work with and very little left to do apart from die, as now the chances for Mouse are out the window, and Frozen knows it. This is an Astralis victory locked on in. They take it 2-0. The Danes looking dominant to open this up. There might have been some doubt there in the second half, but they weather the storm.